Good morning, students. Students, you know that last week in second lesson of history you learnt about some events which occur after 1960. In this chapter we are going to learn about some internal challenges that India faces. Means sub problems within India. We shall see some internal challenges like separatist movement. Separatist movement means separate state from India. They don't want to be the part of India. They want a separate country. For example, in the previous chapter, you learnt about Khalistan movement. Issues of Northeast India. Northeast India consists of the 8 states, that is Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura. These all the states have some different issues, and we will see how the government of India solve the problem of these states. Particularly, this area is known as a tribal area or Adivasis. Next challenge which we will learn, that is Naxalism movement, communalism and regionalism. Communalism means division of the society on the basis of religion. India is divided into the different regions. Regions means provinces, and feeling of differences in between two provinces is known as regionalism. So now we will see all these challenges one by one in detail. Unrest in Punjab. Unrest means no law and order, no peace in Punjab. Akali Dal was the major political party in Punjab. In 1973, the Akali Dal passed the Anandpur Sahib resolution. Anandpur Sahib is a place in Punjab, and resolution means declaration, and through that declaration and resolution they had some demand, and the first demand was Chandigarh should be made part of Punjab. Haryana and Punjab were divided on the basis of language. Hindi speaking people lived in Haryana, while Punjabi speaking people lived in Punjab. They both demanded Chandigarh as their capital, which was the first demand of Anandpur Sahib resolution. Chandigarh declared capital of both the states. And Chandigarh declared as a union territory. Means, though it is the capital of both the states, but it is controlled by union government. Second demand of Anandpur Sahib resolution was the Punjabi speaking parts in other states should be included in the state of Punjab. Means the state where Punjabi speaking peoples are living, that state should also be included in the Punjab. Third demand was recruitment of people from Punjab in the Indian army should be increased. More autonomy should be given to the state of Punjab. Autonomy means power, that is, more power should be given to the state of Punjab rather than central government. So, any decision for the Sikhs or the Punjabi people living in the state of Punjab should be taken by the state government of Punjab, not the union government of central government. Akali Dal came to power in Punjab in 1977, and while taking the charge, they added two more demands. While taking charge means while making their government. Larger share of river waters for Punjab and holy city status for Amritsar. Larger share of river water means 5 rivers are flowing from Punjab, and they want more share of that river water for the state of Punjab. As well as Amritsar is a city holy for the Sikh peoples, because all we know there is a golden temple, and for that they demanded the holy city status for Amritsar. In 1980, the movement for independent Khalistan took root in Punjab. They demanded separate country Khalistan for the Sikh or Punjabi peoples. During that period, the leader of the Akali Dal was Sant Harcharan Singh Longowal. He used to direct his activists from the Golden Temple to stage protests, means started to gather the people. On the other side of the Golden Temple, armed followers started gathering around the staunch Khalistan supporter Sant General Singh Bhindranwale. Staunch means strong supporter with the arms. During that period, terrorist activities had begun. Bhindranwale was arrested in 1981, accused the murder of newspaper editor Lala Jagat Narayan. After this incident, the situation worsened. Means at that time many riots took place as well as no law and order and no peace in Punjab. Then when state government is not able to control the situation, president's rule was imposed in Punjab in 1983. Bhindranwale went to stay at a religious place called Akal Takht. Bhindranwale's followers captured the Golden Temple and built a barricade of sandbags over there. Due to this holy place looks like a fort. This greatly disturbed the peace in Punjab and it was a major challenge in front of India's government. And now we will see how the Indian government solved this problem. Operation Blue Star. Do you know, students? A military expedition taken up with a particular objective is called an operation. Operation Blue Star was an operation undertaken to evict the terrorists hiding in the Golden Temple. The main task of getting the terrorists out of the Golden Temple was entrusted to Major General Kuldeep Singh Brar. On the morning of 3rd June 1984, the mission Operation Blue Star started. The operation ended on 6th June. This military operation, the Indian Army functions with great restraint. The operation ended with the death of Bhindranwale and the other terrorists. In 1984, after the Operation Blue Star in 1986, an operation had to be conducted against terrorists in the Golden Temple. Terrorists again tried to capture the Golden Temple. At that time, the action was taken by the military against the terrorists, which was called as Operation Black Thunder. After this operation, process of establishment of peace in Punjab picked up. Issues concerning Northeast India. Northeast India consists of the 8 states of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura. International borders of India touch each of the states to varying extents, like Bhutan, Myanmar, China, Bangladesh, etc. These states are different with respect to ethnicity, language, and cultural diversity. Ethnicity means particular social cultural group. These all the states have different culture, their own culture, as well as they are pursuing the different gods, they have their different beliefs. The first Prime Minister of India, Mr. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, took the lead in bringing the tribes living in these areas into the mainstream of the country. Mostly these people are Adivasis or tribal. Mainstream of the country means modern education, scientific technology, etc. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru tried to unite them in the modern India. In 1954, he formed the North East Frontier Agency, NEFA, comprising of the territories on the Sino-Indian border and the tribal areas towards the north of Assam. Sino-Indian border means China-Indian border. Pandit Nehru trying to give them modern education, science and technology with their own culture. Pandit Nehru took the position of bringing about the development of hundreds of tribes in these parts while preserving their cultures. As we know, they have their different cultures. So Pandit Nehru trying to bring them in the mainstream or modern stream of our India with their own culture without leaving their culture. Special provisions have been made with respect to these areas in the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. There are 12 schedules in the Indian Constitution, and in the 6th schedule of Indian Constitution some special provisions are made for the Northeast Indian tribal groups or peoples. According to sixth schedule, some rights and laws are made to protect them. For example, other citizens of India can go and live in Northeast India, but they cannot buy any property. They cannot purchase the land. These restrictions are given to the other citizens of India to protect the tribals of Northeast India. In 1965, the responsibility of administrating the area was given to the Ministry of External Affairs. External affairs means who look after the foreign affairs of our country. The Northeastern Council Act of 1971 was supposed to advise the central government regarding aspects of common interest in economic and social spheres, interstate transport, electricity, flood control, etc. So, overall development of Northeast India. We know that river Brahmaputra flows from Assam and Arunachal Pradesh of Northeast India, and they are facing the problem of flood every year. Now we will see some of the northeastern states, their problems and what solution Indian government found for that, and in that we will see first one, that is Mizoram. The tribes in Northeast India have an ancient history. When India became independent, the government gave administrative autonomy to the districts of Mizo majority areas of the Lushai Hills. When India got its independence, we know that students, it was divided into the three parts. One part of India, second one Pakistan, and third, that is the princely states. And last year, as you learnt about the merging of these princely states in India done by the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. When the States Reorganization Commission was appointed in 1954, the expectations of the people in this area grew. Mizo leaders started demanding an autonomous Mizo province in 1959. The territory of Mizoram experienced severe drought. During this famine, drought means no water and famine means no food to eat. Mizo leader Lal Denga served the common people a lot. In 1961, Lal Denga established an organization called Mizo National Front MNF. He asked for Greater Mizoram, an independent nation carved out of Tripura, Manipur and Mizo majority areas from the Lushai Hills. Means they demanded special Mizo tribal provinces. In 1966 of March, Mizo National Front announced the emergency of independent Mizoram. They started their own government, they started their own army, and they did not follow or they did not listen the Indian government. At that time, Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India and she handled the situation firmly. She sent Indian army and suppressed the rebellion. When the situation calmed down in 1972, the Mizo majority area was given the status of Union Territory. In 1985, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had an agreement with the Mizo National Front and Mizoram was given the status of a full-fledged state, and Lal Denga became the first Chief Minister of this Mizoram state. Now you have seen in Mizoram there is a democracy and it is completely united with India. So students, second northeast state is Nagaland. The Naga tribe in northeast India is known as a martial tribe. This Naga tribe is known as a fighter tribe. The Naga tribe had settled in eastern Himalayas, the Naga Hills, border areas of Assam and Myanmar. In 1946, some educated Naga youth established an organization called Naga National Council (NNC). Later, they made a demand for an independent state of Nagaland. They were led by Angami Zapu Fizo. In 1954, the Naga National Council announced establishment of an independent federation of Nagaland. In 1955, skirmishes happened in between local Nagas and the soldiers of the Assam Rifles. Skirmishes means small battles, and Assam Rifles is the part of Indian Army. Military actions was taken to suppress the Nagas. Several rounds of discussions took place between the central government and the Naga National Councils. Central government decided to give the Naga majority territory the status of a union territory. Nagaland was made a full-fledged state on 1st December 1963 by putting together the Naga majority territory and part of Tunsang. Now, next state, that is Assam. In 1983, there was an intense agitation staged by all Assam Students' Union and Assam Gana Parishad over the question of the dominance in Assam of Bengali migrants. In 1971, there was creation of Bangladesh. These Bangladeshi migrants came to Assam as refugees, and due to which life of people living in Assam is disturbed. In 1985, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Central Home Minister Shankar Rao Chauhan and Assami leader Praful Kumar Mohanto signed an accord. As per that accord, it was decided to send the Bangladeshi citizens back to their original places from Assam. In 1986, elections were held for Assam Legislative Assembly and Praful Kumar Mohanto of the Assam Gana Parishad became the new Chief Minister. To this democratic process, it became possible to establish peace in Assam. Next one state, that is Arunachal Pradesh. In 1954, NEPA was created. NEPA means, we already learned, Northeast Frontier Agency. In 1972, it began to be called as Arunachal Pradesh, means region of the rising sun. As the part of East India, the sun rises first in Arunachal Pradesh in India. On 20th February 1987, it got the status of constituent state. During the period from 1960 to 2000, Northeast India has progressed towards a more mature democracy. This area is on the path of progress through industrialization, spread of education, transports, roads and railways, etc. So student, that is it for today's video. Remaining we will see in our next video. Thank you.